So pranams everybody. Asatoma sadgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Mrityormamritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So welcome everybody to today's satsang. Just become aware of your body. The first way to activate it, always activate your divine presence, especially for satsangs, sit in always in awareness. I recommend that not just satsangs, you must come to a state where you start living in awareness. It starts with satsangs because here it's powerful and you have company. So become aware of your whole body. Simple ways. When you become aware of your body, you are first acknowledging. Your whole attention is going to your gross presence first. Until you become aware of your gross presence, you cannot become aware of your subtle presence. You cannot bypass it. So become aware of your gross body from top to bottom. Just like a scan through your body from the top to bottom. Become aware of your head. You'll all be very quickly become aware means you're conscious that you've got a head. Head means scalp is there, face is there, ears, eyes, nose, mouth, everything. You just become aware. You'll see suddenly this whole head becomes aware and conscious. You might feel energetic, you might feel sensations. As you deepen, you'll have all these kind of experience. Move it to the neck. Inside the neck, outside the neck. It should be all very quick as you go on. The shoulders, both the shoulders, both the hands. Both the hand means include everything, the whole bones, fingers, palms. Then move to the chest and become aware of everything inside, outside, the lungs, hearts, the rib cage, the outside chest, inner chest, outside chest, the breast, the back, the spinal cord, the tummy area, whole of your digestive system, all your digestive organs. Becoming aware means you're like illuminating all these places. So as you go on illuminating, don't lose the previous connection. Don't lose the chest, don't lose the hands, don't lose the shoulders, don't lose the neck and head. So retain this awareness. If you feel like you're missing, immediately go back and become aware of your head, neck, shoulders, hands, chest, whole tummy area, then the pelvic area, inside, outside, the whole buttock area, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the soles of the feet. So entire both your feet, The whole body now. So one intact awareness. Step by step you had moved. Now whole one intact awareness. Whole body. Hold it. So this is how you must do. Separate awareness. Join it. One intact awareness. How does this awareness feel from top to bottom? You had gone set by set. Can you become aware of everything all at once? All. Bring awareness of everything. Everything means skull, leg, knee, nose, eyes, ears, chest, intestines, buttocks, fingers, toes, soles, everything. In the start, you'll find only one at a time you are able to activate. But as you go on practicing this, you will see that you are able to activate multiple organs, multiple locations. That is the whole catch. That is where it is important. So the whole of inside, you just shift it to the outside then. Outside means your skin. Best way to become aware of the skin is become aware of the clothes touching your skin. Rather, I would say become aware of anything that is touching your skin. So clothes are touching, some places space is touching, air is touching. So you are becoming aware of the whole skin. So inside and outside. Expand further into the room and become aware of everything that is touching your body, the whole space that is touching your body. You can see we just took 10 minutes. You can see suddenly you'll switch over from gross awareness to subtle awareness. And that's the whole thing. Satsangs, you must always sit in this mode. So you will be always working through your intellect. If you sit like this, your buddhi will like activate and you will start the smarana process. You'll not just be hearing things and trying to decode it by the brain. The higher awareness takes over and consciousness does its work. Satsangs, you will find it very beneficial. Retreats and webinars also, you'll find it very, very beneficial. But if you can extend this, in your day to day activity, and then begin living in that presence, your life becomes different. You simply start becoming available to life. Wherever you are, however you are simply available to life. Hold on to this deep awareness. Become fully aware of what all it is aware of, inside, outside. Find out what all are you aware of right now. Inside your body, what all is in your awareness. Outside your body, what all is in your awareness. Just investigate. Investigation itself will make you deeply aware of things. This one who is investigating, and this element that is now aware of the inside and outside, is what you call as presence. So even if I tell or not, this first 15 minutes you saw, 10 minutes we took, only 10 minutes to activate the whole presence. So you must do this whenever you are in satsang to benefit the most. Everything happens very subtle here in the satsangs. It is not just talks. So do this process whenever you are sitting in the satsangs. This, if you practice just in satsang, because we do so many satsangs, if you just put your attention that 1.5 hour, 2 hours, whatever we are doing, and if you simply do this process, what you just did, you'll raise your consciousness. You'll simply raise your consciousness. And in that raised consciousness, you are not the regular person. So this being must become available to everything. This being, what you just experienced, what you right now are experiencing, that is the being that is living. Okay. So the spiritual journey who is going through, this life who is living through, my so-called life, I'm having a home, I'm having a family, I'm having a career, I'm having so many responsibilities. Who's the one? It is this presence. If you miss this, you will find somebody else is operating, and that is your ego. That is where the whole problem comes. One small slip it is. One shift, one slip. That's all. 10 minutes to get connected, but any moment you can drop it. And the moment you drop it, you live like a victim. Everybody is just like a victim. They don't have to have difficulties in life. but they will simply shift into the mind and live through the mind and ego through this identity. Can you just become aware of, see, just become aware and see from morning to evening, just today, what have we lived in? Just a scan. Okay, we are practitioners, we are practicing. Okay, fine. From morning to evening, who was living today's day? Was it a daughter? Was it a son? Was it a husband? Was it a wife? Was it a father? Was it a mother? Was it was an uncle? Was it an employee? Was it a citizen? Who was it? 100% you will see one of these only you are. That's where our failure rate is. The whole idea is to live off of these identities, not these identities. Because if you s- stay in this kind of awareness of some identity, then the progress will be diminished. It's not that it's a problem, but the progress, the evolution will be very slow. Because if you put yourself into any identity, you will become a victim. You will become somebody else, what you are not. You will be what you are not. And here, divine presence means that is what you are. Whole journey is going this lifetime, multiple lifetime. There is one being that is moving through all multiple lifetimes. That is this presence that you feel right now, also, inside, outside, the expanded version of you. You just notice 10 minutes of this practice and it becomes something else. And if you don't do that, you can see the whole day how you lived. You were someone in some identity. So that identity is never going to help you. That is what I'm telling. The aim should be first shift into awareness. That shift into awareness, how many times we do? Like in just go through your day and see. You might see that you did it now. Out of 24 hours, you did for this 10 minutes. That too because somebody is behind you. That 10 minutes, what you did is called shifting into awareness. The aim is to move to living in awareness. How are we going to live in awareness? If we do not expand this shifted zone and stay there, or be aware that this is a presence, not a body. This is not a father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister, son, daughter. Until you get rid of that gross awareness, very little chance of growth. Because what will happen is you will go into the same mode of morning meditation, afternoon meditation, or evening meditation, half an hour meditation, closed door meditation. So if you just shift for once or twice and then you let it go, you drift back into your ego consciousness. There you're living most of your life in ego consciousness. Nothing is going to happen. A little bit of goody goody feeling will feel. That's all. I am doing something. Maybe little stress will go off. Little peace of mind. Okay. Little well being. But this cannot be the goal of, you will never reach the goal of self realization. Self realization simply means you are aware of yourself all the time. And for that, you need to keep expanding this. So that's why I say the goal here is not just to shift. Shift is only a practice. Whenever you remember, in the start, it doesn't happen all of a sudden. Okay. I'm not talking to the people who are very new. It's your practice. I'm talking to the people who are 1 year, 2 year, 3 year into this. Do you want to remain another 30 years in this, doing this stuff? It's upon you. You decide. If you want to, then you can only be happy with little bit of shift here and there and little bit of whatever good you get out of life. But you can forget about self realization because these are not the principles of self realization. So, practicality, very, very important. We are simply hitting the nail without beating around the bush. We have done that all our lifetime now. So much of glamour spirituality, running behind so many paths and so many ideologies, so many props, so many modules, this and that, everything we have done. Noise, 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 and noise. So, those who are getting the divine wisdom, that noise should end. Noise should turn into silence. Noise is your vibrations, sound, rava, bhairava. Putting an end to that sound is bhairava. So, we are all talking all the time about this bhairava tattva only. Udyamo bhairava. So, you have to activate the udyamo bhairava. You have to activate udyamo bhairava. Not by saying udyamo bhairava. It's useless. But by being aware all the time. When you become more and more aware, you are automatically doing this process of Udyama Bhairava. Bhairava is the one who puts an end to the sounds and vibration, vrittis. To whom does he put? The Shakti. Shakti is very chanchal. The ego nature is very chanchal. It is always running behind things, all the time in thoughts. Those who are always in thoughts are full of ego. They live in ego consciousness. If you want to find out, am I in ego consciousness or soul consciousness, just number your thoughts. If it is going on continuously, thoughts, morning and evening and night, non-stop, then you are living in ego consciousness. That's the proof. So these are ways you can yourself find out. You can yourself find out whether you are seriously doing it or is there a lapse. This chanchalta which is there, this mind will not allow you. It is full of noise. A head which is always ringing thoughts continuously is noise, full of noise, chanchal mind. Chanchal man means it cannot sit quiet. Why can't it sit quiet? Because you are invested your energy in all the tantrums and gossips of life. You have invested your life in so many non-productive things that by the time when you want to put energy for your own life, you are left with none. And then you complain, I don't have time. The one who says, I don't have time is bullshit. It is their own crappy mind giving crappy excuses. There is nothing called no time. I've seen so many people who say, I have no time from morning. I know I'm running around. I have this, I have that, and hundred of things. But if they sit at night before going to bed and evaluate what they have done with their time, they will see they have used their time in so many non-productive things and assume that also as a part of their busy schedules. It might be gossiping with friends, all about the neighborhood, all about the country, discussions about country, political leaders, future of countries, future of the world, discussing the problems of each and every relative, interested in the gossip stories of all my friends and enemies, what is happening in their life, and discussions on it. Then comes my job. There also you can see your productivity. What all talks you do. If you simply, sincerely do this inquiry, you'll see that you have lost 50% in unwanted, non-productive stuff. 50%. So subconsciously you are complaining, I have no time. I have no time means you are declared that I'm not available for myself. Then what are we hunting? These are not very tough things. They are very common sense things. It's not very. But only thing, we don't give it any heed. We take all these things for granted. We want to go into deep, powerful methods. We want to know deep, powerful scriptures. We want to know some hidden sadhanas. And we miss out the basics that life is offering us. Life is very simple. Spirituality is at most simple. You will find the truth, you will find divinity in the places where you expect the least. You can't even guess, because we are focusing on something else, thinking that it is there, or I'll find it there. What is rare, I'll find it there. It's simply not there. It's simply in these things, what I'm telling you. There is no need for great tapas to be done, nothing. Simple understanding of these facts, that you must become more and more aware, because you are leading yourself to know that you are awareness. The whole search of spirituality is to find and realize that you're awareness. Realizing yourself means what? What is the self? It's pure awareness. So you're trying to realize that you are awareness. And what are the practice that we are talking here? Awareness. So instead of using hundreds of tools to discover that your awareness, I'm straight sharing here how to start knowing that I'm awareness right from the simple practice itself. So you can make that journey very easy. Or do you want to waste 10 years, 20 years doing so many things? And then finally coming to realize that what I'm trying to search is this awareness. What I had to know all these years, that I am awareness. So divine wisdom is what we are talking about. Wisdom is everything, because this is Gyan Marg. What we are talking here is simply Gyan Marg. So I was just referring to Tirumular's teachings, and how even he's talking the same. Tirumandiram is a big book containing lot of sutras on yoga, on pranayama, and so many mudras and asanas, breath work, all it involves. But ultimately, if you see the sar, the fundamentals of what he's trying to teach is very simple. The same things that we're talking here. But we can understand it's not easy for everybody to get this point. So for that, you have to undergo a lot of processes. See, here it says divine vision. Tirumular's mysticism is Vivekaja Jnana, an experience which is pulsating with undecipherable mystery. So his whole mysticism of Tirumular's teaching is on Viveka Jnana. And what are we talking all these years now? Jnana and Viveka. Viveka Jnana is referred to as Arutkan or divine vision. These are all Tamil words. As one of the saints says, knowledge which knows knowledge through knowing knowledge. So this is the knowledge which knows about knowledge. This is the jnana, which is knowing jnana through knowing, through the process of knowing. And that is what we do in satsangs. We are simply talking of the wisdom about the wisdom. We are talking about these words of wisdom which is there, jnana which is there, which we are sharing the jnana about what? About jnana only. Are we not talking about jnana marga? Are we not talking that wisdom is everything final? Your divine wisdom is everything. So what we talk is wisdom. About what are we talking? Wisdom only. Through knowledge. We are talking and listening through the medium of knowledge only. See how beautiful it is. I am talking through the medium or the language of that wisdom. You are also listening through the language, through the faculty of wisdom only. I am talking through the faculty of jnana. You are listening also through the faculty of jnana. The medium also is jnana. The topic on which we are discussing also is jnana. The term jnana has been used by Tirumular to mean an insight into the nature of the self. So, jnana here, Tirumular is referring to as an insight to the nature of the self. What is the nature of the self? Nature of the self, not only Tirumularji has told, many documents are there. One is Avadut Gita. You just learn Avadut Gita or contemplate through it, you will come to know it's only talking about the nature of the self. Though it is so difficult to define the nature of the self, but it is trying. Sarva Gyanotra also, you can see it is trying to define the self. Devi Kalutra, some aspects are there where it is trying to define the self. All the things that we are talking here on this platform, shifting into awareness, is all definitions about the self only, the nature of the self. So when we talk about the nature of the self, that is divine wisdom. What I am sharing is divine wisdom. What you are hearing is divine wisdom. I am sharing this knowledge through my divine faculty. You are listening to the knowledge through divine faculty. That is why this zone is all about jnana. If that is not opened, you cannot understand it. Now you are listening to me also. You are understanding this faculty also. Just because your jnana is sharpened. Otherwise, you cannot fathom these things. This will sound very boring. These topics will sound very, very boring. So if it is sounding boring means अभी तक ज्ञान चक्षु खुला नहीं है. It's not open. That is how the worthiness is decided. See, it's an automatic feature. If we go on just talking on this very slowly, it will start sinking into you. And only if you are really interested, you will invest your time in this. Otherwise, you will run for better things. What are the better things? The world. Sansar. And that is how हम वंचित रह जाते. We are not eligible by ourselves only. Nobody outside, nobody does anything. Our own eligibility, we decide. So according to our interest on certain subject only, we can go deeper into that. If we don't have interest, how can you go deeper? So that interest is anugraha. Like Avadut Gita first verse, it says, even the interest to have Advait Vasana is due to the grace of God. So here is telling that it's all the nature of the self. Tirumular is giving the insight to the nature of the self. He often uses the simile of light when talking about self or consciousness. So he is also using prakash, light, the simile, another synonym for the self or consciousness. He talks about as light. He calls jnana or wisdom or knowledge as Telugu in Tamil. Telugu is also in Malayalam. Telugu simply means brightness, illumination. So he is referring to jnana as illumination. He also uses the term sanmarga for the path of jnana. So the path of jnana he refers to as sanmarga. Telugu means illuminative wisdom or proper understanding. Telugu, clarity. So you can see whatever Tirumularji has done, the whole it's a huge complicated thing. But ultimately it comes down to this only. According to Tirumular, without Telugu, one cannot attain the blessed state of mukti or selfhood. Without this Telugu means without this clarity or illuminative wisdom, without this illumination, no one can attain the blessed state of moksha, mukti, or selfhood. Means self realization is not possible. Without Telugu, Telugu is clarity. Who gives the clarity? Third eye, your sixth sense, your buddhi. So you can see how much of impression is being given on this buddhi, intellect, the whole Chidakasha is on that. So he writes here, these are phrases of Tirumandira, which is translated. Without wisdom, one shall never know Shiva. Without wisdom, one shall never be Jiva. Without wisdom, one shall never become Shiva. Without wisdom, one shall never terminate the bondage of birth. Four lines. Says without wisdom, one shall never know Shiva. Never know Shiva means what? Never realize that I am Shiva. How difficult it is for us to realize I am Shiva, which is the third phase, what I'm talking about. So we cannot go into the third phase just because I am interested. I like to know. Liking to know will not open up. That third phase, all wisdom is all about subjective awareness that I am Shiva. And for that, lot of work is needed. Phase one and phase two. When all that muck is gone, only this illumination takes place. This illumination brings forth, comes forth, springs forth, or blossoms like wisdom. The wisdom starts volcano, like a volcano, it sprouts out. Everything becomes known from inside. It is not about learning. That is why I'm not keen on teaching Shiva Sutras. Who the hell wants to do that? There's no point in teaching. It has to spurt forth, blossom from within. And then a little touches and guidance there, you'll know what it is. But it cannot be taught. The knowledge of the self can never be taught. It is like the knowledge of the self is there in each one of us. We have to remove that which is preventing that knowledge. That is called ignorance. That is called maya. That is called mala, impurities. So you can see we are doing so many other practices which will remove the mala. And there also there is a certain level of eligibility to remove the mala. To remove the impurities, there is basic eligibility. There also we can fail. We might know all the great practices. Oh, this cleans me, this cleans me, this cleanses me. But I might not be ready to leave all that mala. That is another big challenge. That also claims for worthiness, eligibility. So nobody is doing from outside. Again, I'm trying to remind you that nobody is making you eligible or nobody is putting you out of eligibility. You yourself decide that. Now, how? Mala means, for example, concepts. The biggest, dirtiest mal that we have, impurity, is all your concepts, all your belief systems. Now tell me, how many of us are ready to give up that mala? Very difficult. We might talk about it for hours together, but when the time comes, we can't give. If you cannot give up that, you can never know you are Shiva. That's what it is. Because till the mala is there, it will not take you to that third phase, to that state of consciousness which you are there in that state. And that's what I'm telling. If we are practicing only as a part time, many are also practicing awareness, like the third phase is where I am a divine presence. That's very close to that. If you just live in that, you become very eligible for the third phase. I am divine presence. But I see sometimes people are living in that, they practice that, and then they go and do all the kind of different props. This meditation, that meditation, 100, because their belief systems will not spare them. They feel if they don't do one day, their life will go. Deep, hardcore belief systems in there. So those mala will never go. The doing will never stop. So one side they are doing continuously, on the other side they are trying to practice non-doing. See what will happen? That is where we fail in that eligibility to go to the third phase because of the inability to give up our concepts, to become nirlamba. I told you the third phase is nirlamba, when you're ready to just stand there without any identity. So third phase is not for everybody. Otherwise, you would have seen, all self-realized people walking. If knowledge is all available, why people can't do it without the knowledge available? There are so many gurus teaching it. Why still people are not available? Because of the inability to give up that maya concepts. Concept is maya. Maya imal. I was sitting with Devi Amma yesterday, and she was talking about three things. The three things you cannot get rid of. One is mind, second is karma, and third is maya. I said, Amma, this resembles what you're telling is exactly what I'm discovering in Shiva Sutras. She said, what is it? I said, you are saying mind, maya and karma you are telling, that is already there. But you are telling mind, and here it says animal ego. So ego and mind is same only. She said, yes, absolutely. These three things you cannot easily get rid of. If you get rid of, you're Shiva. That's it. Simple. So step by step, karmically, how much can you work upon? Maya, how much can you work upon? That is the second level, what we are talking, second phase. If you can only work out through Maya, then you can move to the third phase, where you're ready to kill the ego. Even saints get stuck there. Don't take it very easy. I told you, even we have identities. I'm a divine person. I'm a rishi. I'm a great yogi. I'm a great, whatever, great or even divine. I'm a very divine person. I'm a saint. Bas ho gaya. Maya Himala is still there. That is Maya. So till that Maya Himala goes, the Aham Mala is very difficult to approach. That is where the difficulty is. So that is what I'm trying to tell. Don't be very impractical and just keep dreaming about self-realization. Understand the fundamental, how it works. First, you have to Grossly, first level, you have to get rid of all your karmic doership. When doership goes only, your Maya will stop attacking you. Too much of father, mother, husband, wife, child, if you're carrying, that is Maya Himala. This is Maya Himala. If you're carrying this very strongly, surely you will do karma mala. 100%. You will work like a father, you will work like a mother, you will work like a child, you will work like a husband, you will work like a wife. And when you become a husband, wife, brother, sister, girlfriend, boyfriend, all these things, you are generating karmas. Please understand this. Karma mala activates. So those two require a lot of work. Then only Shiva Sutras. So that is what he's trying to say here. This wisdom, what I'm right now revealing to you. Without wisdom, one shall never know Shiva. This is the same wisdom I'm talking about. Without wisdom, one shall never be Jiva. Without wisdom, one shall never become Shiva. First, he says, know Shiva. Even who is Shiva, you'll never know. Becoming next, you'll never become Shiva. Without wisdom, one shall never terminate the bondage of birth. Why? Karma mala chalu hai. Until and till I am living in my identity as someone, 100% there is going to be karma. You cannot escape that. You cannot say, let me be someone and do no karma. It is not going to happen. Try it. And how not to be someone? Live in divine presence. Simple sutra it is. The more you live in divine presence, your consciousness, you'll not get identified by the roles that you're playing. Though you will be playing that role. You will be doing those roles, but you will not. The people around you will take you for that role. People around you will tell, this is my husband, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my mother, blah, 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 blah. You will be nothing. You will not identify with all those things. People will identify. Let them identify. No problem. You're living the role. So you will continue being a husband, wife, brother, sister, whatever. You will continue being that to them. You will remain someone to them, and you will, whatever you're doing, they will feel you are doing it in that manner, but you are doing it out of neutrality. You are not partial on anybody. You cannot say this is my parents only. No, when your whole world has become your parents, when your whole world has become children, you cannot say these are my children. That is ego. Vasudevaka Kutumbakam means this only. Consciousness expands and there is no me and mine. Me and mine comes from ego consciousness. Maya Imala, me and mine. Who's me and mine? It is always the father's children, mother's children. So there is a father, mother, that is me, my children, mine. Okay. Every relationship is that only. The moment you hold me and mine, why me and mine? Because I am living in that identity as someone. Why I'm living in that identity? Because now I'm not living in divine presence. I'm living in my gross presence. I'm living in Jake identity, so I remain as Jake. So one way to powerfully cut down this Maya Himala is living in awareness. When you live in awareness, you are shutting down that powerful Maya, power of that Maya. And to a great extent, you are even dissolving the Anamala, the Aham. Aham, from there it starts, the I identity. See, 3 level, you are already working. It might not come overnight, but you are straight attacking these 3 points, which also Devi Amma said yesterday. Same 3 points only, she said. Very difficult. It might look easy, but it's not. Yeah, good. But one is you directly go to that. and dissolve it. The other is you beat around the bush and do this and that and this and that. Finally, even after maybe 20 years or 20 janmas, you will come to this phase only where you will have to adhere to this wisdom, and through this wisdom only go beyond. There is no other way. So, whichever you feel, however you feel, easy for you can always do. He confirms the significance of this verse in another verse by saying that only the truly wise attain heavenly bliss. Karravar perinbam urru ninnare ninrare. Tamil. He's telling only jnana can unite the limited self to the unlimited self, just as understanding unites perception with concepts. See how beautiful it is. Only jnana can unite this limited self, this Jake, or this father, mother, husband, whatever, with the unlimited self, that is the soul conscious, that is Shiva. Unlimited self, unlimited, infinite self, that is Shiva. Only wisdom can merge this finite being to that infinite being. Just as understanding unites perception with concepts. So proper understanding can unite and merge all these concepts also, beliefs also. On self-realization, Tirumular calls self-realization as the knowledge which knows the self. See, self-realization, what it is? Simple words he's telling, it is the knowledge, the wisdom that knows the self. It is the state of being a leader of one's own self. He regrets that earlier he was ignorant of that which knows itself and feels happy that once he knows this self, he need not know anything other than that. He calls self knowledge as genuine knowledge, and the rest is but knowledge demented. So Tirumular is regretful. He feels regret that earlier he was not able to know about it. So even see all these mighty siddhas have been through these phases where he's telling he regrets that earlier I was ignorant. I was an agyani. I didn't know this. But now he feels happy. Now he says that one can feel happy if one knows his self. And once you know the self, what we are talking about here, once you know this, then there is nothing else to know. This wisdom, what you are listening right now, if you just know that I am not this identity, I am that self only, but right now I don't have an experience of it. I have this knowledge, but I don't have an experience of it. I understand this, I relate with this, but I'm not having an experience of it. So right now, what I'm trying to do is trying to have an experience. How? Through these modalities. Whatever practices I can do, simpler and easier and faster and powerful, straight methods. That is what we're learning here in shifting into awareness. Even if you have this kind of firm awareness, this is called faith in what you do. Yesterday we were talking faith. If you have faith, that's enough. And it's needed. Even Nityananda says faith. Shirdi Sai Baba says faith. Jesus said faith. Everybody says faith. Why faith? Because the knowledge or the path that you're holding on to, the ultimatum of whatever you want, that you will get. Even if you want to become a billionaire, until you have faith in yourself or your dreams, you're not going to get it. Simple as that. So, here also, this is the final wisdom that I am not this identity. That I know, I have learned it through many paths, but I can't get a grip on it. So that is why these things are being introduced to you. To get a direct grip of it, you have to let go of ignorance first. That stubborn ignorance, it's a stubborn one. No, I will not get rid of my concepts. It is going to take time. It will take time then. Many of the friends, people that I talk to, they are aware of it, but they say there is still time. Then take time. There is no problem. Because when you say there is time, not even Shiva can stop that. Please understand this. When you say there is time for me to drop all these concepts, to drop all my beliefs, to drop the Maya, it will take little time for me. Yeah, it will take time for me. Even the people who do healings, or let's say inner child, or past so many processes that we have done, purging, resetting life, all those things. There also I hear the common dialogue. It will take some time for me. You are fooling yourself. Please understand this. Because there is no time that will be granted by anybody from outside, especially. You want it, you can make it up. When you say I don't have time, it simply means you have time for other priorities. Are you getting that straight? Simple it is. When you say I don't have time, indirectly you're straight saying I have lot of time for other priorities, so this can wait and it will wait. Not even Shiva will interfere in that. It's your choice. Until you want to play this game around and keep taking births, nobody will stop it. So it's all upon you, completely all upon you. How much you want to take this and how much you can relate to this. And that is what I am perfectly trying to deliver here on this platform. That is why even if little seriousness is not being shown, I'm not interested. Right now, even I was watching the stat, we had 47 people, it's come to 39. That means there are 8 people who is not interested in the subject. They are seeking something else here and they're not going to get it. So I'm going to check out all those people and just simply unsubscribe them. That's what I mean here. I don't want any other activity here. Here, simply one tattva is there. Who is interested in that only can be moving around here. We are not doing any other time pass. I'm not interested in manifesting wealth for you. I'm not interested in making your relationships better. You might want to do it. That's another thing. But that's not the focus of this platform. It is to make you free. That is why you can see so much of time and quality time is being dedicated with all this quality wisdom. So many things we are doing. So he says, other than this, what you are hearing right now, this knowledge, this wisdom, there is nothing else needed. There is no other thing. One need not know anything other than this, he says. He calls self knowledge as genuine knowledge. This is the genuine, most genuine knowledge, and the rest of the knowledge is all demented knowledge. Anything other than the knowledge of the self is demented knowledge. Demented means mental. It can mentally make you something else. Demented. Demented simply means mad. Mad knowledge. Why mad? It will make you mad behind all that is false. And the more you run behind all that is false, the more you'll suffer. So it can dement your brains. It can dement your mind. Any other knowledge other than the self. You take any other knowledge, even it let it be even the most divine knowledge. Other than the self, anything else you see, it will take you a little away from that self only. It will not grant you freedom. It will not give you peace. Like even if you have the most powerful methods of kaya kalpa known to you, it's a very divine wisdom. And even all these mighty siddhas taught that kaya kalpa. So if that kind of wisdom you gain, you are still going to have demented knowledge because it will still keep you away from freedom. You know the case of Upadesh Saram, where rishis are doing the havan. They have all the great knowledge of all the shastras, agam shastras, yantra, tantra, mantra, everything is there, and they're following that. And what does it say here? Anything other than the knowledge of the self is demented knowledge. That is why they get demented. Punarpi janmam, punarpi maranam. Shiva has to come down himself and remind them, what are you doing? You are not gaining freedom. Where is the knowledge of the self? You can see how dreadful it is. How this knowledge cannot be taken for granted. So he says, self knowledge, according to the Siddhas, is a realization of one's original identity. What am I telling now? Anything different? Self knowledge, according to the Siddhas, is the realization of one's original identity that I am God itself. Aham Brahmasmi. There's nothing else to know. But once you learn this, hear this, then you simply have so much of faith in that knowledge of the self that now you walk to experience that. Then only you are moving towards self realization. Today, many people are not allowed. After 16 also, I have not allowed anybody. And today we started at 9 o'clock with the meditation itself, purposely. All those who were sincere, who came, who wanted, and 9:15 means they think, okay, 9:15 I'll just come in. So they want to escape that. It's all shortcut cunningness of the mind. So I'm more cunning than them. So some come only in the end. So they think there is some meditation going to happen. I did it in the start now. So he says, self knowledge, according to the Siddhas, is the realization of one's original identity or oneness with Shivam or God. That I am not different. I am one with that Shivam or Shiva or God. Tirumular defines samadhi as or self knowledge as a state where I becomes he. So, self realization is that state, or samadhi is that state where this I, this identity becomes he. I am that I. Self realization reveals that what we call God is inside one's own self. So, this God that we are hunting everywhere, praying to everywhere, every day, I pray to God. Where is this God? In the clouds or in some heaven? Peeping down from heaven to down here, playing hide and seek with us. We call him and he hides. And then we sing, Nure Khuda, tu kahan chupa hai hame ye bata. As though he's playing hide and seek. All those people who seek God outside will sing this kind of songs. The seekers here on the path of liberation, especially who are moving to the third phase, will give out all these ideas. If you're not able to give up that idea, then that eligibility will block for you to go to the third phase of realizing I am Shiva. Till you have murtis, till you have photos, these are all binding. I'm not saying that's bad or something. It's up to you. It's your inability to give up looking at a deity. That's why in Chidakashi he says, you will not get God by looking at images of stone and mud, says Nityananda. But how difficult it is. नित्यानंदा बोलने दो कोई भी बोलने दो मैं नहीं छोड़ूंगा. This should be interpreted as an insight of not my awareness, but the being's awareness of itself in me. See this. Tirumular's direct translation, how it should be interpreted. Where he's saying self realization reveals that what we call God is not outside, but it's within me, it's me itself. So this should not be interpreted as what he says is my awareness, but it is Shiva's awareness or the being's awareness or the Lord's or God's awareness of itself in me. Shiva is aware of himself in me. That's the approach. That might you might still say, what come again? What did you say? Ah, that's how difficult it is. The moment this line is told, and if somebody gets it, that is the third phase. I get that. Then you will get further also. It's very simple. But if you're not catching this, that is because of the concepts. So much of concepts in our heads will not get it. So first work on this one, phase one and phase two only. However seniors we are, even 30 years in spirituality, doesn't matter. But you have to work on phase one and phase two if you want to make your phase three clear. I'm not telling about me. I'm telling about you. Anywhere you go, any master you go, any place you go, until you clean up these two phases, you will not become eligible to receive it. Even if it is given to you, you will not understand it. Like I said, come again, come again. What did you say? Can you explain that to me? I stop explaining only. Because these things are not to be explained. In Chitakasha Gita, when I was doing, I told multiple times from the start till the end, 50 plus hours. This will reveal so many things to so many people and will reveal something to some people and maybe even nothing to some people. So those who are getting nothing or those who are getting something should never come and ask me, please explain this little more in detail. You will not get it, even if I give you personal tuitions. You're not going to get it. So when people don't get it and they say, I am not getting this, I say, leave that aside. What you understand, you catch. You are eligible for that. That is how all these documents go. Everything goes that way. Whatever you understand is meant for you. So no teacher, no master, nobody can make you learn something. One short para is there, and after that we'll stop. So what he's trying to say is this should not be interpreted as my awareness. And what are we always talking here? My awareness. That's all because this is phase one and phase two of practice. We are not mastered that. Still, we are in that phase of my awareness. Go within. I say antarmukhi, go within and find out where is the awareness inside. Go outside and find out where is the. Actually, there is no inside and outside. That is phase three, where there is no question of all that. But to get a grip, I have to practice these things. Continuously, I have to practice. Once the grip comes, then you can easily, simply slide into that. So here is telling it is not interpretation that about my awareness, but the being's awareness of itself in me. Being, be, just be. The being in you is always free. It is just there as it is. That witness consciousness which is there, when you shift into that, you are just there, being. That is what we are doing so many webinars from doing to being. Why doing to being? Doing is the doer. I, identity. Being means no doers, gone. So when all the doership is gone, you are just there, just alive, just present. That is called divine presence. That divine presence doesn't do anything. It's simply present there. So you cannot catch that presence until you have so much of concepts and so much of strong identity about something. I or the I, the doer is there. It's very difficult to do. Tirumular is emphatic that self realization is a process where Jiva identifies itself with Shiva. And this he calls as the great seal of Jnana. Simple. The great seal, the seal put on Jnana, the final seal. Self realization is a process. It's a process, he says, where the jiva means the ego, the I, the father, mother, husband, wife, brother, sister, this identity, this someone starts identifying itself as Shiva. That's what we are trying to tell here. I am not this personality, I am that. And even if you think about this and start thinking, oh, this guy told me this. Now let me think. I'm not this. So every one afternoon after lunch, you might think, oh, this guy told I'm Shiva. So you will start practicing. I am Shiva. It will not happen because you're trying to do it with your head. That head is ego and mind. It is not going to happen because that ego will never surrender itself. That is why I'm telling the easiest practice is shift into that awareness. Live in divine presence because half the work is done there. And once you start identifying and living in that presence, half the work is done there. Then from that presence you operate these things. These things cannot be operated from the ego side. Everybody fails because every seeker is trying to take the ego and merge it somewhere. You cannot. You can only have hallucinations. See, when you sit in meditation and you think, oh, Shiva is somewhere there, and I am going and merging with that Shiva and uniting. You'll have all kind of hallucinations, fantasies. That's all you can have. But you will never have that subjective experience of the whole. To make it subjective experience, first you have to become subjective. That subjective nature is divine presence. When the mystic attains Shivahood, he is thrown into an abyss of love, possessing simultaneously the mystic light, vision, peace, and joy. This you must have understood. Mystical realization finds his achievement in absorption in Shiva, the ultimate realization of one's true nature. Again, he's talking that only in different words. Self realization is the bliss of the Siddha, the bliss being the knowledge that the ultimate is in oneself. Same, different languages today. According to Tirumular's view, the self in man is the ultimate substance behind the world of phenomena. Obviously, this is what Shiva Sutra is telling. Everything is coming from there. The whole phenomena is hidden in Maya, the Shrishti is all coming from this only. So it can put an end to all the phenomena. That's what Ramana is teaching. Inquiry. Who am I? You keep inquiring and you'll simply move into that zone which is not you, the false you. And there all your world disappears. When you abide in the self, there is nothing other than the self. So what is other than the self simply evaporates. You don't have to keep washing. Tirumalar exhibits his love of Tamil language by comparing mukti and jnana with the sound of music of the three kinds of literature in Tamil: Iyal, Ikai, Nadagam. Okay, this for some other time. He's talking about literature, music, and drama. Then he explains little more deeper how this self-realization stuff takes place. This we will do it in the next satsang whenever we are doing. But this is interesting. But it's nothing new. What I'm trying to tell you is it's nothing new. Why I'm exposing these things is to tell you even the greatest of scriptures, even like Tirumandiram also, all lead to the same jnana. But it has lot of processes. Now it is upon us if you want to go through the process and finally ultimately come here to realize this. or you can directly be eligible for it. It's all upon us. That is completely our own free will. Anybody has any questions today? On today's subject, if anybody has any questions, you can ask. I'll leave this mic on. So all is clear? Okay. So today's subject was just that only. Living more in the divine presence will help you get there. So why are we not able to get into that? Somebody wants to say something?
प्रणाम जेकब जी।
Yeah, who's this?
प्रणाम जेकब जी।
हाँ बोलिए। जी जी, रेणु जी बोलिए।
हाँ, जैसे आप अवेयरनेस की प्रैक्टिस कराते हैं, उस समय हम बॉडी पार्ट्स पे अवेयरनेस करते हैं, फिर बाहर बाहर अवेयरनेस ले जाते हैं, अपनी पूरे यूनिवर्स में ले जाते हैं। लेकिन आप कहते हो कि सारे दिन अवेयरनेस में रहें, तो ये प्रैक्टिस तो निश्चित रूप से सारे दिन नहीं करेंगे, तो वो अवेयरनेस में सारे दिन कैसे रहें वर्डली काम करते
अभी
हुए?
अभी आप वो चिंता मत कीजिए। अभी सिर्फ आप ये जब आपको कर पाए उतना कीजिएगा। 1 घंटा कर
मतलब
पाए करिएगा, आधा घंटा कर पाए करिएगा, 5 मिनट कर पाए करिएगा। दिन में 10 बार आप 5-5 मिनट कर पाइएगा, वो करिएगा। अभी आप सोचिए नहीं, आपने आपसे वो नहीं पाएगा, और वो अलग फेज है। अभी
जी
हमको एक स्टेप बाय स्टेप ही जाना है, जितना हमारे हाथ में पकड़ा है वही करना है। क्योंकि यहाँ पे बैठे हैं सब अलग प्रकार के लोग बैठे हैं, जो
जी
कर भी सकते हैं, जो उसके बियॉन्ड भी सोच सकते हैं, लेकिन सबके लिए वो पॉसिबल भी नहीं। तो हमारे हाथ में कितने हैं, हम वो करें। तो पहले तो सिंपल स्टेप्स, शिफ्ट इनटू अवेयरनेस। जब जब आपको याद आए तब तक शिफ्ट हो लेना। 5 मिनट हो, 10 मिनट हो, आधा घंटा हो, 1 घंटा हो, फिर डिटैच हो जाए, कट ऑफ हो जाए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं। फिर चलते रहना है अपने को, जैसे चल रही है, सहज चल रहा है। फिर जब भी याद आए कि नहीं, आई हैव गॉट डिटैच, आई हैव गॉट डिस्कनेक्टेड, तो मैं फिर और प्रैक्टिस कर लूँ, 5 मिनट और 10 मिनट, या जितनी हमारी कैपेसिटी है उतना हम करते जाए। ये धीरे धीरे जैसे बढ़ेगा तभी वो संभव है आगे का, जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, लिविंग इन अवेयरनेस।
तो वो ये जो प्रैक्टिस 5 मिनट या 10 मिनट या जितनी बार ध्यान आए हमें करनी है, तो वो
जी,
सारे काम छोड़ के करनी है या काम करते करते भी करनी है?
दोनों ट्राई करके देखो आप।
जी जी
दोनों ट्राई करके देखो।
ठीक।
आपको क्या लगता है कैसे होना चाहिए?
हम्म
आप बताइए, आपको कैसा लग रहा है, क्या होना चाहिए?
मतलब उसमें अगर मैं काम करते करते भी करूंगी उसको, तो माइंड नहीं चलेगा मेरा, जो एक
मतलब आपने
थॉट
प्रैक्टिस
है।
नहीं किया है, ये आप अंदाजा लगा रहे हो, आपने प्रैक्टिस नहीं किया है।
हाँ, वो मैं बता नहीं पा रही किस तरह, मतलब बैठने वाला
ये आप
तो।
अंदाजा लगा रहे हो, ये आप मन की सोच है, ये सब मन में आप सोच रहे हो, ऐसे किया तो ऐसा। आपने कभी ट्राई नहीं किया। आप इसको अनुभव करो, फिर बताइएगा। और एक जो मैं कह रहा हूँ, ये जो काम करते वक्त करना है, काम नहीं करते वक्त करना है, ये सब आपका वो ग्रॉस प्रैक्टिस से, आपका बिलीफ सिस्टम से आ रहा है, जो आप पहले करते आए थे, दरवाजा बंद करके आधा घंटा 1 घंटा जो मेडिटेशन में बेहोशी में हम रहते हैं, वो उसकी एक लत लग चुकी है अपने को, वो आदत बन चुकी है। तो हमारे अंदर अभी ऐसे कंडीशनिंग हो गई है कि हम करें तो सिर्फ जब कुछ नहीं करे तभी ये ध्यान मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको बार बार, ये ध्यान नहीं, मैं ध्यान नहीं सिखा रहा हूँ किसी को, यहाँ हम ध्यान नहीं कराते। मैं बार बार उसको छोटे छोटे वीडियोस में भी डाल रहा हूँ। व्हाट वी आर लर्निंग हियर, तिरुवണ്ണामलाई से भी मैंने डाला। व्हाट वी आर लर्निंग हियर इज मेडिटेटिव अवेयरनेस, इट इज नॉट मेडिटेशन। मेडिटेशन यानी आप सब कुछ बंद करके कोने में बैठ के भगवान से प्रार्थना करो, ये सब मैंने सिखा। वो सब आप कर चुके, जन्म जन्मांतर से करते आ रहे हो सब चीजें। मैं अभी बता रहा हूँ अवेयरनेस, जागरूक जिंदगी जीना। और मेडिटेटिव अवेयरनेस में रहना यानी कि ये 100% संभव है कि आप काम काज करते हुए भी ये करो। यही तो कृष्ण बता रहे हैं, योगस्थ कुरु कर्मणि। आपके गुरुदेव ने भी आपको 1000 बार समझाने की कोशिश की कि काम करते वक्त, कुछ भी करते वक्त हमेशा मुझसे जुड़े रहो, कृष्ण कह रहे हैं। वो जुड़े रहे ना, वो कृष्ण कौन है? डिवाइन प्रेजेंस है, वो आपका अंदर का चैतन्य है। तो आप वो चैतन्य के साथ जुड़े रहो और काम करते रहो। आप जब अर्जुन कर सकता है तो हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते? अर्जुन तो योद्धा था, वो लड़ाई लड़ सकता है, किसी को मार सकता है। कितने लोगों को मारा उन्होंने, और योगस कुरु कर्मणि की स्टेट में, क्योंकि कृष्ण ने उनको बताया था आपको कर्म दोष नहीं लगी है। हमारा भी ऐसे ही है। जब हम माता पिता पुत्र या कुछ बन के हम करते हैं तो हमको कर्म दोष लगता है। लेकिन ध्यानस्थ होके या जागरूकता की अवस्था में जब हम वो करते हैं तो कर्म दोष नहीं लगता है। वही तो मैं कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ। ये कर्म का जाल से छुटकारा तभी मिल सकता है, नहीं तो माया ही मल पहले पकड़ेगा। मैं सो एंड सो हूँ, मैं ये फलाना ढिमकाना हूँ। अभी जैसे आपका प्रश्न में बहुत सारा आइडेंटिटी है। अगर अगर आप गौर देखो, अभी भी आप, वो एक आइडेंटिटी है कि मैं एक माँ हूँ या पत्नी हूँ या बीवी हूँ या बच्ची हूँ किसी का, या मैं घर का हेड हूँ। कुछ तो कुछ है, एक आइडेंटिटी है जो अभी भी बंद के, उन सब चीजों में बंद के वो कर नहीं पा। तो उन आइडेंटिटी से अपने को निकलना है, क्योंकि वो माया ही मल है। वो माया ही मल की वजह से आप, हम जब भी कुछ बनते हैं तो कर्म दोष शुरू होता है हमारा। तो डिवाइन डिवाइन प्रेजेंस में जीना यानी कि हम ये आइडेंटिटी में नहीं जीते, लेकिन अपना कार्य कर रहे हैं। अर्जुन भी कर रहे के किया, हम भी कर रहे हैं, उसमें कर्म दोष नहीं लगता। डिवाइन प्रेजेंस में रहते हुए आप जो भी काम करोगे वो काम तो होता ही रहेगा, क्योंकि आप नहीं कर रहे। हमको ये अभी तक विश्वास नहीं होता, क्योंकि हमको लगता है कि मैं, मेरा ईगो, मेरा माइंड जब तक काम नहीं करेगा तब तक ये काम कैसे होगा। तो वही तो बोल रहे हैं ना, हम आज अभी तक जाने नहीं है कि हम शिव है। ये हमारे भीतर से भी कोई तो काम कर रहा है, ये आज तक भी वही करते आया है। लेकिन हम उसको जब हमारी आइडेंटिटी बोल के हमने किया बोलते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं डुअरशिप। वो
जी
डुअरशिप में जी जी के, जो गलत है, जो सही नहीं है, सत्य नहीं है, उसमें जी जी के हमको ये आभास हो गया, ये आदत हो गई है कि हम ये कर रहे हैं, तो हम इसको कैसे छोड़े। ये कठिन होगा कई लोगों को समझने की। मैं समझाने की प्रयास भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं ओपनली बोल रहा हूँ सब लोगों को। जिसको जो समझ आए आप ले ले। लेकिन ये अगर बहुत कठिन लग रहा है तो आप मेडिटेशन के डोज जैसे ही कीजिए, दरवाजा बंद करके भी कीजिए, 15 मिनट कीजिए, 5 मिनट कीजिए, और काम काज छोड़ के ही कीजिए। लेकिन पहले वो उसमें तो पकड़िए, आधा घंटा परफेक्ट अवेयरनेस व्हेन आई एम नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग, और 1 आवर परफेक्ट अवेयरनेस। फिर शाम को मैंने किया 1 आवर परफेक्ट अवेयरनेस, वो टाइम में तो परफेक्ट हो जाएगी। उसके बाद वो परफेक्शन को बढ़ाते बढ़ाते आप खुद जान जाओगे कि ये बिना काम करते हुए भी आप कैसे मुक्त हो सकते हो। अभी बोलने से समझ नहीं आएगा, अभी आप फिर तुक्का लगाओगे और अंदाजा लगाओगे, आप बोलोगे ऐसे कैसे हो सकता। लॉजिक, ये लॉजिक का जोन नहीं है। इसके लिए एक्सपीरियंस कीजिए, धीरे धीरे करके, जितना हो सके आप लोग करते जाइए। उसके हिसाब से वो फेजेस है।
जी जी जी।
थैंक यू जी।
थैंक यू जगत।
तो ये प्रश्न भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। ऑल दीज क्वेश्चंस आर गुड बिकॉज these give us more insights. So, uh, just briefing in English, what she said was, she asked if how is it possible in the mind while I'm working, how is it possible to have this awareness? Because you are telling live constantly. I'm not asking or demanding anybody to live like that. I'm telling that is our goal. If you remember, I've been constantly telling this is the goal of this platform. First, you shift this practice. So you might do it for 1 hour, you might disconnect. I told in the start also the same thing. You might disconnect. It's okay. Whenever you remember, do it. When you keep on doing this repeatedly, you will see that one time will come when you don't have to do this practice. You become that. You start living in awareness. And when you are living in awareness, whether you are in the room, outside the room, whether you're working, not working, you're still knowing very clearly, I am not this body, I am not this identity. I am this divine presence. So that knowing, when it comes only, then let us shoot for self-realization. Before that coming, if you want, you try. You will get disgusted. You will get frustrated because it's not happening. It will not happen because the fundas very clearly show. Until I give up my concepts, concept. This also is a concept that how can I do? That's what Krishna explained to Arjuna. You can do. He was running away. He said, "You do this job as a king. You complete your tasks." And he said, if you do it without the sense of doership, what is doership? This only me, father, mother, husband, wife, brother. All these identities that I hold. With this identity only, I get into karma. And karma keeps me bound. More my karma, I cannot move towards self-realization. First, I have to get rid of karma, lowest level. Karma dosha should stop. This new indebted with people, places, things, creating more. That should stop. How that will stop? When I know I'm not the doer. How should I know I am not the doer? This practice. Live in more in divine. Whenever you are in divine presence, whenever you are operating, you are neutral. You will not get karma dosha there. If you are doing it perfectly. So the more you live in that, the more you are detached from karma dosha. Means karma will stop. Then you manage the maya. That's for another. So I will not tell directly go there. So what advice I give is, it's okay if you are not able to do it 24 by 7 and all that. If you feel it's too difficult also. That feeling, that feeler is a mind that is thinking. And I told, this is not coming from experience 100%. This is just, I'm thinking, oh, if this is possible, how can I be aware when I'm working? Have we practiced it genuinely? No. If you practice it, you will know it is possible. So practicality is needed. And why I'm not able to go there? Because I'm jumping to that state. I have not mastered my 5 minutes of awareness, my 10 minutes, my 1 hour of awareness. If I have not mastered that, how can I master living in awareness? You can't even think of it. See, this is why I'm telling we have a common platform here. Knowledge is given on 3 levels: the gross, the subtle, and the ultimate subtle, most sukshma. Gross, subtle, and light. It's in that kind of a format. So whatever I'm talking here, there are all states of people here. Whichever appeals, they catch it. It is not what I'm telling again. Every word of mine is not meant for everybody sitting. You must get that very, very clear. So you must not take, oh, you only told me that, I must abide in the self. No, I'm telling those people who have worked hard for it and those who have reached that state, who have practiced and done a lot of work. For them, I'm telling. So if you can't relate to it, oh my God, I can't do it, then I'm telling other things also. Why are we not catching that? I'm telling, if we are not able to do that, do this 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour. In a day, do 1 hour. Close the door and do like your meditation practice. Do it. Get mastery over it and understand and feel, realize, experience when I'm in divine presence. Am I really a mother? Check it out. Now, tell me, how is it possible if you feel that I cannot practice awareness while I'm doing my work? Mother is feeding the child. That's work. That's a responsibility. Now, if she says, I cannot practice awareness while I'm feeding my child, she will never be able to see in a detached form that I am not the mother. And our practice is that just to see that and experience that I'm not a mother, I'm not a father, I'm not a husband, I'm not a wife. And for that, in divine presence, whenever you are in divine presence, you can see how are you seeing your relations. You will see it is completely different from how the ego mind is seeing it. There you will come to me. Oh, divine presence means detachment. Even if you want, you can't get attached there. So it's all about practice, 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 practice. Any other question? These questions are good because it will help us. Anybody else? Okay. Then I think we'll break for today. And I don't know, tomorrow, day after, whenever the next satsang is, we will continue on this thing only. What we will deepen and our understanding. So this Sunday we have this webinar coming up on purging and resetting. This is again on a different, deeper level of purging out everything that is unresolved and left incomplete. Until you complete that, you are not going anywhere. You have to go deep and become free from all these bondages that you have got stuck into. If you feel you can do that, some people are scared and they say, "Oh no, but you said Ramana says avoid in the self. Why do put want to put attention into that? Do it." Ramana says that, but how many people can grasp Ramana? Ramana is talking from a very high level, and as I said, he talk for all frequency of people. Are you in that frequency where you can simply avoid in the self? If you want, try it, because that is what Shiva Sutra says. Start from there, Shambhupaya. See if you can. If you can, then. But if you are not, be humble enough to stumble down, come down, and practice the basics. Check it out. You check it out. If you are not able to do it, then come out and clean out those mess. If you want to, listen. So I hope today's session has helped you. We will come up with the next. End with a short prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Stay blessed then. See you.